Okay, so our next speaker is Guillaume Desachy, and he's from AstraZeneca, and he's going to talk about successfully building a vibrant community of our users at AstraZeneca and the lessons learned.
Hi, Elena. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for the very kind introduction. My name is Guillaume. First, I want you to visualize a scene. You've gone on a hike. You are in this magnificent national park. It could be Milford Sound in New Zealand. It could be Valle de la Luna in Chile. It could be Les Calanques in France. It doesn't matter, actually. You've gone on the hike with a bunch of friends, and you keep passing by surreal landscapes. And you're like, I gotta stop by. I gotta take a picture. So you stop by, you take that picture, and then you turn around. And you're like, shoot, where are my friends? Where have they gone? Well, it's a bit like how we felt back in early 2021 when it came to the community of our users at AstraZeneca. It's a bit like how we felt because we did not know who the R users were, we did not know where they were in the organization, and we didn't know what they were using R for. So we're like, we need to get together. We need an R community. And from the very beginning, we decided that if we were going to be starting an R community at AstraZeneca, we were going to be embedding inclusion and diversity right at the center of it. And we were going to be doing it for two reasons. The first one is because it seemed to us like the right thing to do. And this is actually one of the AstraZeneca values. And the second reason is because research has shown that the more inclusion and diversity there is, the more innovation there is. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but what do you actually mean by embedding inclusion and diversity in R&AZ? Well, what I mean is leveraging diversity of learning. Because we all like to learn differently. We all like to consume content differently. So with this in mind, I defined two indices. The first one, I'm calling it the self-led learning index. And at the top of it, it's a bit like if you were going to be opening a book, you are learning by yourself. And at the bottom of it, people are going to be taking you by the hand. People are going to be helping you out. And then this other index is the synchronicity index. On the right-hand side, if you miss the event, it's too late, it's over. You won't be able to catch up. But on the left-hand side, if you missed the event, you will be able to go back in time. And the very first initiative that we launched as part of the community of our users at AstraZeneca is something that we branded as AZ Tidy Tuesday. And you might have heard of Tidy Tuesday. Well, basically, AZ Tidy Tuesday is bringing home Tidy Tuesday. And if you've not heard of Tidy Tuesday, the idea is to promote one data set, and then collaborators come up with one graph. And what I mean when I say that we brought it home and we made it our very own is that we framed the data set around one topic that AstraZeneca collaborators could relate to. So it could be one of our values, or it could be something going on internally. And this was happening once a month. And as many things we do for this community of our users, we use as the main mode of communication our internal social media, which is an equivalent of Facebook. So for AZ Tidy Tuesday, for each new edition, we were promoting it on this social media. Then collaborators had 2 weeks to come up with a graph, and a couple of days later, we were featuring one of the entries. And in here, you can see the very last featured entry. The very last, because we decided to close AZ Tidy Tuesday. And this very last edition, we wanted it to be a bit festive. So it was about music. Now, let me go back to this. We knew from the very beginning as well that if we wanted to build some momentum around the community of R users, we could organize an internal R conference. And that's what we did. In February of 2022, we organized the very first AstraZeneca R Conference. And again, we embedded inclusion and diversity in here. And the way we did it was that for every single session, every single talk, we indicated whether it was going to be a talk for beginners, for intermediate R users, and for advanced R users. Now, you might be telling me, okay, but Guillaume, everyone is doing this, right? Everyone is indicating this. Well, yes, but how is everyone indicating this? Is it by using like some kind of color code? If it is, it's not very inclusive of people with color blindness. So instead, we went for emojis. And when you looked at the schedule for every single talk, if it was a toddler, it was going to be a beginner talk. If it was a grown-up, it was going to be an intermediate talk. And if it was a more senior person, it was going to be an advanced talk. But being the very first AstraZeneca R conference, we didn't know if people were going to show up. We didn't know if it was going to be of interest, basically. Well, we got blown away. We got blown away because more than 500 people showed up. More than 500 AstraZeneca collaborators showed up on that day, and they came from 22 countries. Now, let me go back to this. When we look at this, we can see that there are some gaps, and I agree with this. So that's why we launched more initiatives. We launched the function of the month, which is a blog post about one function. We launched the 10 to 1s. On a monthly basis, there is an interview of an R user at AstraZeneca. And every single month, the questions are the exact same. So this way, people can flip through the interviews and look at the diversity. We launched the Lunch and Learns, 30-minute sessions about a given topic. And again, embedding diversity in here because we rotate between US time zone and Europe time zone. We launched the Let's Meet Each Other, some very informal get-together. We launched the monthly newsletters because we know that not everyone is checking actively our internal social media. We recently organized jointly with our studio, now known as POSIT, some workshops. And last but not least, we recently launched in Gothenburg, Sweden, the R Hot Desk. People can stop by and ask questions about R. Now, I'm quite happy today. I'm quite happy because there's way less gaps than there were a year ago. There's still some gaps, but we're doing a better job. I'm the one doing the talking today, but actually, it took a village to get here. I won't name them all, but I want to thank them all. I want to thank them all because if we are where we are today, it is thanks to them. It is thanks to their dedication, their commitment, and their passion. Thank you. If you want to know a bit more about the community of our users at AstraZeneca, I invite you to check out the blog post that we wrote and which is available on the RStudio blog, which is again a bit of diversity in the storytelling. And if you want to access it easily, you can simply flash the QR code, which is on the right-hand side. Okay, let me go back to that hike. Let me go back to that journey. The hike is definitely not over. The national park is still magnificent. The landscape is still surreal. The journey is not over. I know there are still some gaps in that learning cadence, but we'll get there. And what I'm very happy about today is that we know who the R users are at AstraZeneca, where they are, and what they are using R for. Thank you very much. Take care.